design. Supposedly, it's going to feature a flat stainless steel edge. It'll have a smaller notch. It's likely to be narrower instead of shorter. Also, we're likely to see thicker antenna lines, likely to accommodate the 5G connectivity, and there'll be one less speaker hole on the bottom right side of the grille. There's going to be a power button located in a lower position than it is now with the 11 and 11 Pro models. Also, the camera lenses are likely to be larger, but perhaps one of the most striking new design features will be its new navy blue color, which will replace the forest green that we saw with the 11 Pro models that was so popular. Next, I'm going to talk about the new sizes of the iPhone 12. We're going to see 4 different models that come in 3 sizes, 5.4, 6.1, and 6.7 inches. But let's put these in context. This 5.4 inch iPhone 12 is going to be almost as small as the 2016 iPhone SE. Apple has never made an iPhone this small since then. And compared to the 2020 iPhone SE, it's significantly smaller. Next, let's take a look at the mid-tier 6.1 inch iPhone 12. It's a little bit larger than the iPhone 10, but significantly smaller than the 11 Pro Max. And finally, let's add the 6.7 inch largest iPhone 12 to this lineup. And we can see it's comparable to the 11 Pro Max, although it is a little bit taller. Now, these 3 sizes, as I said before, will come in 4 different models. There will be a 5.4 inch iPhone 12 at $649. There'll be 2 6.1 inch models. One is going to be the iPhone 12 Max at $750, and then the iPhone 12 Pro at $1,000. Now, that Pro is adding all of the professional features we're going to see on these 2 top tier models. Now, the last top tier model is the 6.7 inch, which is called the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It'll be $1,100. So let's take a look at the differences between these models. First, the bottom 2 tiers will have a Super Retina OLED display, but the top 2 levels will have a Super Retina XDR display. And that XDR just adds things like a increased contrast ratio and perhaps an increased nit brightness. Also, the bottom 2 tiers will have 60 Hz refresh rate display. This is typically what we've seen on virtually every iPhone before, but the top 2 Pro models are supposed to have 120 Hz ProMotion displays. Now, I have this italicized because rumors have been going back and forth. There have been reputable people saying it will have the ProMotion 120 Hz display, other people saying it will not, that Apple changed their mind. This could be up in the air, so take that with a grain of salt. Next, there will likely be 4 GB of RAM with the lower 2 models, with the Pro models featuring 6 GB. 128 GB standard on these iPhone 12s, which would be pretty incredible. That's a doubling from the previous 64 GB base storage, with the option of 256 GB for the bottom 2 models. But the Pro models will have a 512 GB storage option. There will be 2 rear cameras on the 12 and 12 Max, with the 12 Pros featuring 3 rear cameras plus a LiDAR scanner, and we'll get into the benefits of that later on. Also, the 12 and 12 Max will feature aluminum frames, whereas the Pro models will have a higher quality metal steel frame. So let's talk about these new features, starting with the LiDAR scanner that I had just mentioned. And what it does is it quickly and precisely maps your environment. And this will allow for greater improved augmented reality capabilities and maybe other benefits that we don't even know about yet because Apple hasn't implemented them into iOS. The next feature is going to be 5G connectivity. This is something that will be included with all models, and it's going to be pretty exciting. You're going to get things like 10 times faster speeds on your cellular network. You're going to have a decreased latency by 10 times, spectrum efficiency, higher traffic capacity. This will be a huge benefit for iPhones, and customers will really enjoy it. Next, let's talk about the A14 Bionic chip. This will be included with all models as well. And this thing will feature a 5 nanometer process. And all you have to worry about is that this chip will be smaller. It'll be faster and even more power efficient than before, which is an incredible achievement. And these rumors suggest that this A14 chip could have comparable performance to the MacBook Pro, something I don't think we could have even imagined 5 or 10 years ago with the iPhone. Next, let's talk about the cameras on these new iPhone 12s. Each model has a different camera system, with the lower end models featuring 2 rear cameras, as I said before, 3 rear cameras on the higher end ones. But let's get into the details. Those 2 rear cameras on the 12 and 12 Max will be a standard and ultra wide lens, while the Pro models will have a telephoto lens. What that does functionally is it gives you a 3 times optical zoom. It's not a digital zoom, it's a high quality optical zoom, and that is improved from the previous telephoto lens on the 11 Pro models, which featured 2 times optical zoom. Also, the Pro models will have that LiDAR scanner I previously mentioned. They'll also have improved smart HDR performance. That means better low light photos. Also, the Pro models will have slow motion 4K video recording, and that is at 120 and 240 frames per second. Lastly, the expensive 12 Pro Max model will feature optical image stabilization for the ultra-wide camera lens. This has never been done before. It's due to new sensor technology that applies optical image stabilization to the entire camera system instead of individual lenses. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about notable changes that anyone buying an iPhone 12 should know about. There's 2 things. First, there will likely be no power adapter and no headphones included with the iPhone 12. It's likely to simply have the phone itself and a charging cable. That's it. Also, judging by the size of the envelope, we may only see 1 Apple sticker included with the iPhone 12, or perhaps no more Apple stickers included with iPhones, which would be a disappointment. Second, the cable included, which is the only accessory, will be made from braided fabric. No more plastic charging cables. Hopefully that will make it more durable and more comfortable to use. Lastly, this is a Lightning cable. It's USB-C to Lightning, which means there will be no USB-C port with the iPhone 12. It looks like Apple will be sticking to the Lightning port for at least 1 more year. Alright guys, that is the rumor roundup for the iPhone 12. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this in the future.